Talk with author Lett is a show that informs, inspires, and motivates. All shows are taped in front of a live virtual audience. Make sure to follow us so you can be notified when a new show is available on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Also follow us if you want to be a part of our live tapings. Grab your beverage and snacks, get comfortable so we can let's talk. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk. I am your host, author Lett. This is a show where we inform, inspire, and motivate you during these tough times and beyond. So come on in and have a virtual seat so we can let's talk. You guys know you can watch the shows live on Facebook and YouTube when we are recording. We appreciate your love and support. You could be anywhere tonight, but you chose to tune in with us and enjoy the night so we can let's talk. You guys, let's talk about tonight. Let's talk about breaking every expectation. Get ready for an unforgettable episode as we are sitting down with Lowell Henry, a man whose journey is all about beating the odds and seizing opportunity. From crossing paths with icons like Joe Jackson, Gordy, Katherine Jackson, and Oprah Winfrey, Lowell's story is one of resilience, bold moves, and doors open through determination. But first, we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors. As you guys know, when we come back, I like to give a shout out to my Let's Talk fam. And so what you do for those of you that are watching for the first time, make sure you put in the comment section where you're watching the show from. Put your name so I can give you a shout out. If you're watching this in a pre-recorded phase, no worries. I still go back and look at the comments and give you a shout out. Okay. So stay tuned. This will be a brief message from our sponsors. And when we come back, I'm going to give a shout out to the Let's Talk fam. All right, you guys, we'll be right back after this brief message.
She was a woman ahead of her time. My mother made a decision in 1974 that would echo through our family for nearly 50 years. She purchased a life insurance policy, quietly, intentionally, lovingly. She didn't know exactly when she'd leave this earth, but she knew that when she did, she didn't want her children drowning in grief and bills. My name is Elise Green, and I'm a financial literacy educator because of her. Over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to share her story and why it changed everything for our family. This one's for every mother, father, daughter, and son who wants to leave love, not burden, behind. Follow along. The story is for you.
Lett. What you see here are all 5 books that I've written. These are amazing stories that illustrate real life situations and will uplift your spirits. You can purchase a paperback book for $15 and Kindles are $9.99. Go to my website, make a purchase. You won't be disappointed. You guys, those were entrepreneurs. Make sure you go out and support them. You know how I am about entrepreneurship and small businesses. So let's see who is checking in, as I call the Let's Talk fam. Those of you that aren't too afraid to say hello and see where you're checking in from. Okay, so yes, we have the star himself, rocking Richard Houston. Hello, Richard. How are you, sir? Hope all is well. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's see here. Blessings always are free. Thank you for joining us and watching the show live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tanya is watching. My girlfriend from Chicago is watching. Hey, girl, how you doing? Let's see who else. Oh, Wanda. Hey, Wanda. How are you? So glad you could tune in, girl. Absolutely. And hubby, one of the producers of the show. Thank you, babe, for your love and support. He's watching. And let's see who else. Of course, Carla. Hey, Carla. Hey, sis. How are you? Thank you for your love and support as well. Let's see. Is there anybody else? They're just going back and forth here. Oh, and my sis is watching, checking in from town, Oakland. Yes, indeed. Love you, sis. Thank you for your love and support. So, you guys, those are the Let's Talk fam. And again, if you're afraid to say hello, it's all good. You can always put something in the comment section. I always go back and read it later. And if not, it's all good. Oh, we got one late bloomer coming up. Mike Suggs, what's up, bro? Mike Dog. He's checking in as well. So I appreciate you guys all checking in and watching the show live with me. It means the world to me. All right, y'all. So let's get into what's hot topics before we have our main guest come on. So as you guys know, June is a very unique month in itself. So one of the things I want to talk about really quickly is that June is Black Music Month. So according to TMZ, the BET Awards come on this Sunday. Are y'all going to watch? I am on the 28th. I'm super excited. It's expected to be a full-blown pop-up cultural event where stars across industries come together to celebrate success, impact, and influence on a massive stage. So I think that's going to be kind of cool. Every year they honor somebody that's been in the game for years and years. So I'm curious to see who that's going to be. So excited. And one other person or one other group I want to acknowledge for Black Music Month is really quickly is none other than the group Confunction. Yes, indeed. Today on Let's Talk, in celebration of June is Black Music Month. Celebrate one of the funkiest, smoothest, and most influential bands to ever come out of my childhood town of Vallejo, California. The legendary Confunction is known for the electrifying horns, silky vocals, and grooves that shaped an entire era. Confunction rose from a high school band called Project Soul to become chart-topping hitmakers with classics like Fun, Chase Me, Too Tight, and the timeless slow jam, Love's Train. That is the jam. Their sound defined late 70s and 80s funk, inspiring generations of artists and cementing their place in Black music history. Today, we honor the musicianship, the legacy, and the undeniable vibe of a group that kept the dance floors packed and the culture moving. Confunction. So, you guys, as a fun fact, my mother went to high school with these guys. How cool is that? So you guys give it up for Confunction. That's who I chose for June is Black Music Month. So excited for that. All right, y'all. So let's get into some. Oh, I'm so excited about my guest. Yes, 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 indeed. This gentleman, before I even introduce him, I want to give a shout out to my uncle Bart Williams. He produced this segment. And Uncle Bart is a track star, an Olympian. And he and I were talking about guests and individuals that he know. And the first person came top of his mind was Mr. Lowell Henry. So my Uncle Bart, he put this whole segment together. He produced it. Thank you so much, Uncle Bart. Love you, love you, love you. So with that being said, let me give this gentleman a formal introduction by telling you a little bit about him with his bio. Okay. So this is Mr. Lowell Henry. He was born and raised in South Central Los Angeles. He rose from humble beginnings to become a true mover, shaker, and deal maker among America's elite. Gifted with what many call the stamp of genius, he first made his mark as a standout athlete with the Southern California Striders, qualifying for the Olympic trials despite never making his high school track team. How cool is that? Guided by coaches who recognized his rare talent, he enrolled at Los Angeles City College, where his academic and athletic excellence drew interest from Ivy League programs. As an adult, Henry evolved into a trusted strategist and consummate dealmaker who is calm, insightful, and known as the Rock of Gibraltar for his steady wisdom. His journey connected him with influential figures across cultural and industry such as Joe Jackson, Katherine Jackson, Barry Gordy, Oprah Winfrey, and many, many more. He is grounded, purposeful, and driven by faith. Henry's life is not just Black history, but American history. He is a testament to perseverance, brilliance, and the power of rising far and beyond where you start. He has broken every expectation above and beyond. So, you guys, without further ado, I want you guys to help me welcome to the virtual stage Mr. Lowell Henry. Hi, Mr. Henry. How are you?
Oh, I'm hanging. I'm hanging in here with you. You look different tonight. I didn't even know who I was talking to.
You doing good, sir?
I think so.
Yes, yes. I am so honored for you to come on Let's Talk. My Uncle Bart spoke the world of you, and I was like, oh my gosh, we got to get him on the show. We got to get him on the show. Just your history alone, as you know, this show informs, inspires, and motivates, and just your story in itself. I mean, my goodness, my goodness. So I just want to start off by asking a quick question, sir. And I know it's a loaded answer, and I'm here for it. How did you start your career as a track star and then nab the job of working with big name celebrities? How did you do that, sir?
Well, I think everybody has something in them. The problem is you have to find the people who can recognize it. So sometimes people in your own house don't see what you have, and
Mm,
it's kind of just uh, you kind of have to show them through doing whatever. And so I guess I've always been ambitious as a little kid, you know. And so I had a brother, older brother, who was a tremendous athlete. Could do every he was the first, I think, Bo Jackson,
oh,
and so it was very difficult to do anything. So when I got to high school, I went to a track meet and I saw these guys running. So I said, well, I'm too short for basketball, not strong enough for baseball, not strong enough. So let me try running and see if that works. But I turned out going to probably the greatest high school, which for track and field in the nation, Jefferson High School, and they won 14 straight championships. So that was a challenge within itself to go out there to try to make a team like that. That's
mm,
kind of what happened. So anyway, it was difficult and I didn't make it, but I became sort of like a timer and a coach and all that. So I left and uh, I saw an article one day on a guy that was on the cover of Sports Illustrated named Tommy Smith. So I
mm.
thought I'd write Tommy, see what would happen. And he wrote me back. And my mother said, well, you know, this guy probably won't write you back. And anyway, Tommy and I became very good friends. He was an Olympic champion who got banned from the Olympics and so
Oh,
on.
yeah. Mhm.
So he taught me how to sprint, and I got better and better and better and so on. That's how that came about. And Bart, your uncle, came to Cal Poly after me, and the way I met Bart was. Uh, I brought the Jackson Five to play a celebrity basketball game against the local people in San Luis Obispo. And,
Wow.
and Bart saw me, and I introduced him to everybody. And next thing I know, Bart showed up at my office one day, and he told me he was in the music business. So that's kind of how I met Bart. Very nice guy, very interesting guy, and I think he's a little bit more exciting probably than me. But anyway, what the heck?
Oh, wow. So, you and I, we were talking offline. You got to tell this story how you met Barry Gordy and how you became, and you met Diana Ross. And oh my gosh, please tell that story. It's amazing.
So what happened when I left Cal Poly, we started this nonprofit organization, and but before we get there, I met this photographer who took pictures of us. His name was Joe Hernandez or something. He shot the Jackson Five's first album cover,
Mm,
and he said, hey, you know, these kids just moved here and they have a singing group. So I said, okay, what do they call themselves? He said the Jackson Five. He said they'd like to meet you guys. So me and my roommate Ronaldo Brown, uh, we went up, and they invited us up to their house when they lived in Beverly Hills, because they were living everywhere because people found out where they live, and these kids had no break. I mean, it was girls coming from everywhere. I don't know how they found out where they were, but they found out. So while I was there, Barry Gordy's son was there, and Dinah Ross's brother Chico was there. They All those kids were about the same age.
mm,
And so anyway, they were running track and at Beverly Hills High, and so they asked me would I coach them. I said yeah. So I used to drive over there every day and coach them, but they wasn't doing very well in anything,
ooh,
sports, school, anything. And
mm,
so I kind of reconstructed them. And Barry Gordy the fourth, that's Barry's oldest son, said, "My dad would like to meet you today." And I said, "All right, he'll be here tomorrow." So I was out there on the track, and this car pulls up, and Barry Gordy got out, started walking across the field, and we was
mm,
we were we were standing there, and he came over and introduced himself and said, "Well, I see you've done a good job with my son. He's doing well in school now. He was taking piano lessons. He was not focused, and He was saying a lot of things like that. And he says, "So you guys, yeah. So what are you guys doing?" I said, "Well, we're building an organization, and we were doing this and this and this." And he says, "Well, you're doing a lot of things, and he said it's not good to be a jack of all trades and a master of none." He said,
oh,
"So what I'm doing is I have this professional volleyball team and a professional football team. So his football team was called the Detroit Wheels, which
oh,
he and Marvin Gaye and Diana Ross were partners in. And
okay.
and then the volleyball thing, he was partners with Barry Diller, who brought Roots to television, Happy Days, Good Times, all that kind of stuff for ABC, and his
Mm,
other partners. So he says, "Well, there may be an opportunity for you guys." So what we did was we got in a car and drove back to San Luis Obispo, passed up Santa Barbara, and we asked the guys there, "Where's the best volleyball player?" He said, "You passed him up." So we went to Santa Barbara, and they said, "Well, you can meet. His name is Rudy Sawara, and
mm.
and he's at UCSB, and they call him the Tasmanian Devil."
Oh,
So because he was tremendous volleyball player, he was on the Olympic team in '68. One of his travel partners was Will Chamberlain, and
oh,
and so anyway, so we went over and knocked on his door. My roommate was saying, "You think we should do this?" I said, "Sure, let's do it." And I knocked on the door, and the guy came out, and I said, "Hey, I worked for Barry Gordy, which I didn't. And and so when that happened, Barry said, so Rudy said, well, you know what? We'll be in L.A. tomorrow at El Camino College. So I said, well, I got to get Mr. Gordy there some kind of way. So we went back to his house. You have to have an appointment, kind of have an appointment. But they said he wasn't available. So I went to Dinah Ross's house since I was coaching her brother.
Wow.
And she said, well, hey, did you call Barry? And I said, yeah, they said he wasn't home. And so she said, hold on. She went over to the phone and called him. And I said, oh, man, I think I messed up, you know. And so she was talking to him and she says, hey, Barry'd like to speak to you. So he got on the phone. He says, hey, uh, he says, tell me you got this volleyball player. Say, listen, Mr. Gordy over there at Motown, you guys are used to being number one in hits and da da da. So I said, well, listen, I got the number one volleyball player and he wants to play for you. So he said, give the phone back to Diane. So I gave the phone back to Diane. And actually her name is not Diana. Her name is Diane. A lot
Oh.
they just always call her Diana Ross, but her name is actually Diane. And so they just kind of added that other. So anyway, she said, listen, Barry would like us to meet him down at the bottom of the hill where he lived in Bel Air at the corner of Sunset and Bellagio. And when we got down there at 7 on the dot, we had written this 2-page proposal. And he said, we'll follow you. So I had, going down the freeway, I had Dinah Ross in a yellow Rolls Royce, Barry
Ooh.
Gordy in a white Rolls Royce, and they followed me in my Toyota all the way to El Camino College.
Wow.
And when they got out the car, he was saying, man, this is fantastic, and we went in and Rudy, it blew his mind because when we went in the gym, Barry Gordy and Dinah Ross walked in. And it's like, first of all, he didn't know who I was, and if that was even possible, but it happened. So,
Mm.
so, so Barry always used to tell me when I asked him how they build Motown, he said, "Well, it's called timing, and you got to be a little lucky." So I guess that's what happened with me. The
Oh,
timing was right, and I was a little lucky. And
wow.
my luck just kept going because Barry said, I'm going on a vacation. When I come back, I want to see you. So when he came back, we went up to have dinner with him. And he says, this guy's phenomenal. How did you get him? I said, well, I took him to dinner. He said, well, he said to me, he said, well, I thought you guys didn't have any money. He said, we didn't. He said, well, where'd you guys go? I said, we went to Jack in the Box. We got 2 tacos each and a drink. And he said, how much did it cost? He said, I told him $10. So he reimbursed us for all the money and gas and all that. And he hired me on the spot.
Wow.
He was paying us basically expenses and $100 a week.
Mm.
Well, I met Marvin Gaye over there, and Barry had told everybody about us. So whenever I came there to his house, there was somebody already knew who I was.
Mm.
His father, Pop, was fascinated with me because he thought I was a lot like his son Barry. So so Barry Barry said, "You mean you kept this guy's attention for $10?" I said, "For $10." And he was fascinated because I didn't know until later that's kind of how he built Motown. He just kind of went
Mm.
out there. So you got to kind of dive out there. And I always tell everybody something will catch you. A net will catch you,
Mm.
but you have to go see. And so Marvin said to me, he said, "Man, I heard about you guys." And he said, I'm curious, how much is Barry paying us? $100 a week. He said, $100 a week? I said, yeah. I said, what do you think we should get? He said, you should ask him for 500. You think I should? He said, yeah. So I asked Mr. Gordy for $500 a week. And he looked at me and he says, well, I'm not going to say what he said, but he says, I could buy a lot of something for $500 a week. And I said, well, Mr. Gordy, I didn't know how to react. So I responded by saying, well, you know what? if you gave us that $500, we might be able to buy the same thing. And that started our relationship with Barry. So
Wow.
so
Wow.
he's an interesting, very, very, very competitive man. I don't care what it is, whether it's basketball, backgammon,
Mm,
and he and Michael Jackson were two of the same kind of thinking people.
mm,
And so I was training his son on this long driveway, long grass lawn they have, right? And and so he watched him what I did, and he was sitting up in the window of his bedroom with Billy D. Williams. They were about to do this movie, and they came down. He says, "I think I can beat these guys," and he beat his son, and he beat Chico. I mean, perfect form. It was amazing. So he challenged me,
uh-oh.
and so I said, "Well, I don't want to race you." He said, "Well, so he said, so what's wrong with you? You scared?" So I ran off the left. He pulled a muscle trying to keep up. So anyway, Barry never bothered me in that area, but anything else, tennis or whatever. So Michael Jackson did the same thing. He
What?
challenged me. Oh yeah. So these people, there's more to Michael Jackson and Barry Gordy than you know. These are
Mm,
very, very creative, imaginative um, men with tremendous competition in their mind. They,
mm,
they, they don't want to lose at anything. Everything with them has to be number one. And that's
mm.
why Michael's albums are number one. The songs at Motown were number one. Um, and so that's how you kind of become a winner at this. You just kind of jump out there. So that's
Wow.
kind of the short story of Barry Gordy and Marvin Gaye and all these guys. So
So
uh,
you're still pretty tight with Barry Gordy to this day, aren't you?
oh yeah, he I went to his birthday party. He turned 96 in November.
Oh, wow.
And Catherine turned 96 on November 4th, no, May 4th, and my mother turned 96 on May 6th. So
Wow.
they're all kind of the same age.
Wow. So
Barry, I think, being the oldest.
that is amazing. They're still living and vibrant. So what are
Uh,
some of the projects that kind of went from you coaching his son? Did you kind of branch off into making deals for him, or how did
well,
that?
well, yeah, because so it's sort of like, it starts. I wasn't really that good of a student, not because I wasn't smart, or I just wasn't. I never applied myself.
Okay.
So I got kind of thrown into something and didn't know what to do. I
Mm,
spent almost every night of the week at USC library, business library,
wow.
because Barry offered me these positions and I had to catch up to, sort of like being way behind. So I had to catch up. And so I had to go educate myself. But the main thing is 90% of people have to like you. The other 10% is what are you doing and how much money you need.
Mhm.
And if they like you, you got most of it done. And 5% is how much money you need, and the other 5% is what you're gonna do with it.
Mm,
So to get big money, it's easier to get big money than it is to get small money. You
wow.
know. So if you go in and ask, well, just think about it like this: if you go ask Barry Gordy or Bill Gates or any of those guys for $1 million, they wouldn't be interested because it doesn't do anything for them. So
Okay.
these guys, they can't make anything with $1 million. It's just they're too far beyond that. You understand?
Wow.
But if you say $50 million, you got their attention,
Mm.
and they'll give you $50 million faster than they'll give you $1 million.
Woo.
And this is the truth. This is the truth about all this stuff.
Speaking of money, share with the viewers how you brokered the deal for Neverland Ranch. That story is amazing too that you were sharing with me.
Well, what happened was Michael, and I knew Michael since he was 11, and
Oh.
and Michael basically, his Michael was fascinated because he knew I went to school to be a psychologist, and there was a lot of things Michael didn't know about himself, He didn't understand how he got like he got. But and Joe trusted me with his sons, and so there was a meet at the Times indoor games, and he asked Joe. He said, "Well, Joseph, can I go see Lowell run?" And Joe said, "Yes." So Jackie and Michael and Bill Bray, his security guard, came that night, and Michael was the biggest thrill of his life because he had performed at the Forum. That's where they did their first show, and he didn't know they could take a stadium and turn it into a track. And so he got to sit down there with all these guys, and Ronnie Ray Smith, Olympic champion, and this guy and that guy, and he was just fascinated. So Michael used to call me, at 3 o'clock every morning.
Wow.
Yeah, he just didn't know what made him tick, why he was like this, why he was like that, and so I became like a silent brother to him, if you will,
Oh.
you know, and what he was dreaming about, people couldn't comprehend,
Mm.
and so he basically just would ask me, "How do you do this?" And I say, "Well, you're already doing this kind of stuff." And when they left Motown, a lot of people don't know Michael was very depressed. You know,
Oh.
he didn't know if they would ever be successful again because
Mm.
Motown was like a factory. They put everything together for you. I mean, you don't have to do anything. They laid everything out. And they went to CBS, and CBS was just a big company, but they had no producers. And they went there, and Michael didn't. The first album didn't do well, and he went with Quincy Jones, and Quincy Jones. All these guys are really, believe me, they're all the same kind of thinking people. Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson, Barry Gordy, Joe Jackson, Bill Gates. All these guys think the same. They they
Mm.
they have this kind of uh, intuitive ambition that I can do anything kind of thing. That's kind of how these guys are. So I
Wow.
kind of inherited that behavior, you know. So that's kind of how that works. I mean, listen, nothing's gonna work unless you go try. Just got to go see. And usually, like I tell you, there's a big net that'll catch you. And
Mm-hmm.
and if it catches you, then you just got to be ready. So I wasn't ready, and I just got thrown into deals. And so Neverland, Michael made so much money, and there was a ranch up north called the Sycamore Valley Ranch,
Mm.
and I told him about it, and Michael wanted it, and so I went in and navigated. The ranch was $32.5 million, so
Woo.
2,700 acres, and which was a lot of money back then.
Mm-hmm.
But I went in and got it for half that, 16.5 million, and they paid. He paid cash for it,
Oh.
and so right after that, uh, he didn't want anybody knowing about it, so he was very secretive about all that, and his mother and them didn't even know he had this place. They didn't know for
Wow.
a long time, and then he just went in there, and he knew the people at Disney, and they went in there and built an amusement park on it.
Mm.
And that's kind of how that came about. So
Wow.
Michael had a tremendous imagination,
Mm.
tremendous, a very generous guy. You know, uh, he. Um, so a lot of the stuff you hear about him, forget it. My children used to go up there with Michael, and nothing ever happened. My son, my daughter, all that kind of stuff. So, but you have to be careful when you become successful because everybody's looking for something,
Mm-hmm.
and you might not be able to give them what they're looking for. So, they tend to make up stuff on you. That's
Wow.
the best way to say it. But
Mm. And so you and Joe Jackson, you guys were pretty tight too, as
yeah,
well.
very very
Was
tight. Joe,
wow.
listen, there was two people that I never would have made it this far if it wasn't for Joe and Barry Gordy. Uh,
Wow.
I mean, Joe did. Joe, I don't know. he liked me from the beginning. I mean, he bought my son a car, you know,
Oh.
because I took care of a lot of things for Joe. I mean, they used to listen. The money the Jacksons wasted would make everybody rich.
Mm.
They just never went in and they start things, they just never finished them. So I was able to go in and finish them for them. That's kind of how that worked. And listen, a lot of this is just common sense anyway. I mean,
Wow.
and so Joe did a lot to help me through a lot of deal making. He would pick up the phone and just call people, and then boom, I'd just be in there and I'd take care of it. But Joe's last 3 years of his life, uh, I took care of everything for Joe.
Oh, wow.
I mean, uh, he was not in Michael's will at all, right?
Oh.
And so uh, I went in and negotiated with this very tough attorney named Howard Weissman. You guys look him up, you'll see he's the
Mhm.
attorney for everybody. He won the DeLorean case, and Joe was saying to me, well, you're not going to get anything done with this guy. I said, well, so what we got to lose? Catherine told him, what you got to lose?
Mm.
Let the Lord go see. He's a pretty smart guy. So when I got through, I got Howard to give Joe everything he wanted, even up
Oh.
to all his medical stuff to the day he died. So,
Oh, wow.
but
Oh,
you
wow.
see, what goes around comes around. People always
Mhm.
look at that in a bad way. So Joe helped me in the beginning, and I wound up helping him in the end. So that's just
Mm.
kind of how things work.
That's a blessing. Now,
And
was he as mean as the movies and all these documentaries portray him to be?
well, let's put it like this: um, if you grow up in a house with a bunch of kids, and I went to the house in Gary, it was like the size of a two-car garage,
Oh, wow.
and they had two bedrooms, one bathroom, the kitchen, and the washing machine was on the back porch, and so you can imagine that. And Joe kept getting laid off a lot, so
Oh.
you can imagine when you don't have a job and you're angry, and you kind of might be being disciplined on your children. And the neighborhood they lived in was 2 blocks away from the projects, so
Mm.
he kept his kids in the house, and maybe he was no different than any other tough father was. But I mean, no matter what they say, if it wasn't for Joe, there wouldn't be no Michael Jackson.
I know that's
Put it
right.
to you like that.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
oh no, but Joe was nice. I mean, I give you a good example about Joe. My oldest daughter, uh, she had graduated from college, and she had a boyfriend, and and uh and they went to Vegas when Joe. Matter of fact, I arranged for the house, both houses for Joe in Vegas, by the way.
Oh,
And
wow.
my daughter went down there, and when they got there, she came with her boyfriend. So Joe calls me, say, "Hey, do you know Mindy's here with this guy?" I said, "Yeah." So they're going to be sleeping in the same room. I said, "Yeah." So Joe looked out. So he might have been rough or whatever, but he looked out for her, and he
Oh.
looked out for my son, and then my youngest daughter, who's really a champion. We went and stayed with Joe for Christmas one year, and we got up, went to breakfast, and on our way back, Joe said, "Can you pull into the shopping center?" So we pulled in there, and I didn't know what he was doing. He went in, and he had my daughter Alexis come in, and then she came back out. I said, "So what did you do?" He said, "I don't know." And so he bought her a ring for Christmas.
Oh.
She was about 12 years old or something. So
Oh, that's
so so
beautiful.
anyway, I don't know. Uh, uh, you know, a lot of people didn't like him, but listen, uh, if you don't take care of your children, this is what I'm gonna say about that.
Mhm.
Somebody else will.
I know that's right. Yep.
So it's just kind of that
Mhm.
simple, you know.
Mhm. Definitely. And when we talk about Oprah and Miss Jackson, Katherine Jackson,
Yeah,
you and I were talking about how Katherine didn't want to do the interview, and she
no.
did it because you convinced her to do it, right?
Well, yeah. So what happened was, so Michael told me this about a year earlier before he died, and
Mm.
he said, "Listen, if anything ever happens to me, I want you to take care of my mother and father." I said, "Well,
Oh.
what do you mean? What something happened to you?" I didn't know what he was talking about.
Mhm.
And I said, "Okay, Michael." I just brushed it. I said, "Okay, whatever. Whatever you want, I'll do it." And the day that Michael died, Joe was in
Mm.
Vegas. He called me and he said, "Hey, something happened to Michael." I said, "Like what?" He said, "I think he had a heart attack." I
Oh.
said, "Really?" So he said, "Turn on CNN." So I turned on CNN and I kept, watching and waiting and watching and waiting. Then about 45 minutes later, they said they just rushed Michael to the hospital. But Michael had already died because later I read all those reports with Catherine. She wouldn't read that stuff. And
Mm.
they got the phone call. She went to UCLA and she went in the room where he was and she just kind of lost it.
Mm.
And while he was just laying there.
Oh.
So that's kind of how that kind of happened. But so Joe and his children have been doing interviews, and so they said the person you had to talk to was me. So Barbara Walters used to call me every week, wanted to do an interview. I said, "Nope, what are we gonna talk about?" She never would say, but I knew I saw Barbara Walters interviews, and she could be tricky. and
Mhm.
and and then Larry King called and Katie Couric called. They kept calling every week. So one day, this girl called me, who I'm working with now, Cindy, who she just finished the Special Olympics last weekend. If you saw that,
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
said, "Listen, Oprah would like to do an interview with Miss Jackson." I said, "What you going to talk about?" She said, "Whatever you want to talk about. She's not going to do anything to upset her or whatever." I said, "All right." So uh, they came out and they sat down and they Catherine sat with them and
Mm.
they said, "Well, Oprah would like to do this interview," and Catherine said, "No, I don't want to do it."
Mm.
So they were disappointed. I said, "Listen, let me talk to her." So I went and talked to her. I said, "Listen, nobody really knows how you felt. You carried Michael in your stomach for 9 months. You gave birth to him. Who knows better than his mother? I think it'd be good if you do that. And plus, I can get you X amount of dollars, a lot of X amount of dollars." And so uh, she came back and she said she would, and then all of a sudden, some of her children didn't want her to do the interview,
Oh.
and so Oprah was on a flight coming here, and her staff was panicking because they were telling her not. So I put Joe on a flight and brought him to L.A. And he came in there and straightened everything out with his children like he does. And and and, and the next thing you know, the interview went on. So uh, it turned out to be good because she gave Catherine time, and and
Oh.
uh, and when Catherine broke down, they kind of just stopped and they went into makeup and redid it again. But it turned out to be very good. It was a very good
Mhm.
interview for her.
Yeah.
And and the next thing was nobody had never seen Michael's children because
Oh,
Michael used to have those kids walk around with those masks on, if you remember that.
I do.
And,
Mhm.
and so when Oprah saw that she was interviewing him, she said she couldn't believe it because everybody was after them to do an interview. So that's how Oprah and I became good friends.
Oh,
I,
wow.
I gave her something she could never have gotten or nobody else got. So it just
Mm.
so it just kind of like again, it's your timing, it's luck. You just have to kind of do the right things, and the right things kind of come to you, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. And like you said, you gotta be likable, and they obviously liked you. So
Well,
tell us a
if they don't like you, listen. You could be the richest guy in the world. You could have won 10 gold medals, but if you're not a nice person, people don't like you.
Mhm. That's
And
so
and they
true.
look for honesty and sincereness too. That's kind of, and
Mhm.
listen, these are very, very smart people. I mean,
Mhm.
this Diana Ross and all them, they've seen so much stuff you can't imagine what they've seen. How many
Wow.
people approach them every day? I mean, Barry Gordy could spot somebody 2 blocks away with a blindfold on. That's how sharp
Woo.
he is.
Wow.
Yeah, he could.
Wow.
I mean, he could tell you about you know, a hit like Marvin Gaye and him never got along well. You know,
Mm.
and so but Marvin wanted to sing jazz and all that, and Marvin used to say these things, and Barry showed him how to restructure songs, and he took off. So Barry's brilliant at that with people and songs, and so he could know. And so these are real smart people. They're not
Absolutely.
they're not naive about anything.
So tell me about my idol, Miss Oprah Winfrey. When I saw her come on the scene, I said, I want to do what she's doing. I went to school, majored and all that. What is that like working with her? Like, what are some of the projects that you've done with her?
Well, she's just easy to talk to, just like you.
Aw.
I think that like when Joe and them told me about this attorney, Howard Weissman is his name. You
Mm.
look him up, you'll see, and he doesn't lose any cases. He's very tough and all that. Uh, I think these people are pretty simple people. They just good at what they do, and and uh, and they'll be tough when they have to be tough. Oprah's just pretty easy, very
Mm.
smart, very easy. Uh, she that I mean, when I came over to took pictures, she always gives me these hugs and kisses. So Oprah never had a brother, and she didn't find out she had a sister till later. So she kind of deemed me as her brother, like so.
Aw.
It's sort of like that with her, and
That-
so she thought I was a puppet master with these people, you know, and I didn't know what she was talking about. But it's you just have to be nice to people. That's all I'm telling
Mhm.
you. I tell my children that all the time. You got to be nice to people, you know, and think you create your own luck by being nice. A lot of people are not really nice. They act nice, but they're not nice.
That's so true. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, that's so true. So what exciting business ventures do you have on the horizon? Are you allowed to talk about it yet or
Well, I have a deal with a major guy, and it'll probably be done before the month. So it's not done. So I better not mention his name, but he's a major player. You know,
okay.
he's a winner. Never lost at anything. You know,
Yeah.
and he's and very another competitor. I'm telling you, all these people are very competitive people. I mean, if you put them all in the same room, it would be interesting to see what would happen.
Mhm.
You put Marvin Gaye in there, Barry Gordy, Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. They all kind of think the same way. They,
Mm.
they you know, they all have this competitiveness to win. They just want to win, you know,
Yeah.
and they know you can't be nasty to people if you're going to win.
Mhm.
So they're not nasty people. They're firm now, but you know, being firm and being nasty is two different things.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So Mr. Henry, any advice that you could give to someone who's looking to get in the entertainment industry? Any words of wisdom that you would give someone?
Well, the first thing you got to do is kind of believe in yourself. I mean, what Barry and Joe used to tell me: don't tell a lot of people about what you're doing.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is, when I started talking about Michael, when he started to work with Quincy Jones, he thought they were not going to make it after he left Motown because, like I told you, Motown was a factory, and he went to Quincy Jones, and Quincy Jones is another one of them kind of people, man. These guys are competitive, and he went to CBS, and Michael said Quincy Jones can't produce him. He's too jazzy. He's this and that. And Michael did Off the Wall and sold 10 million copies, which was the largest selling album of a black person.
Ooh.
10 million copies. I mean, you think about the people, Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, they never sold 10 million copies.
Mm.
Okay, so he did that. And then Michael then wrote this thing. I went to his bedroom and he had this thing. We were sitting there talking on his, he had an index card that said 100 on it.
Oh.
So I said, well, what does that 100 mean? He said, well, that's what my next album's going to sell. I said,
Ooh.
100 what? 100 million copies.
Yeah.
So I said, what's the album? He said, Thriller. So, okay, if that's what you see, that's what you see. And one of his brothers thought that was impossible. And, but later his brother changed his mind about it. And so, so Joe and Barry always say, don't tell a lot of people about what you're doing. So
Mm.
Michael used to tell Quincy Jones about me. And Quincy used to say, listen, Michael, stop talking to all these people. These people going to mess you up. They'll have you thinking this and thinking that. And he kept saying, no, but you got to talk to my friend. You'll like him. So Quincy said, well, I better check this out. So we were on the phone 20 minutes and he gave the phone back to Michael. He said, Michael, yeah, keep talking to that guy.
Oh.
He's the only one he's the only one that has positive thoughts. So those messages I send you that you read every morning
Yes,
kind of
sir.
kind of stems from that. So I mean, it's easy to be negative. Probably 85% of the people out here are negative anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a big number. So you can't listen to a lot of folks. So my advice is one, you probably have talent if you want to go into something, uh, but the reason you might not know it is because you probably listen to somebody who don't have talent,
Mm.
and those people see something in you that you don't see in yourself. So
Mm.
that's
Deep.
really important because people could be so talented and people can't even see what you're talking about. But they can see. They say, "Oh my God, that guy is great," or whatever, right? But the problem is that they see it and they don't want to share that with you because most people don't want to be left behind.
Mm.
So that's kind of what that kind of stuff comes from. But listen,
Wow.
any deal, I can make any deal if it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Barry Gordy thought I was amazing because after I got out of managing athletes and entertainment, I mean, I got Tommy Smith's career going. I got Edwin Moses' career going. I got all
Ooh.
these cats going. I got
Wow.
I got Tony Haynes, the guy I told you about. You look him up. I found him in the mall one day, and I didn't want to go back to the mall, but I went back, and I told my girlfriend, I said, "Listen, I'm gonna sit here and wait on you." And this guy was there. He's 19 years old, and he told me he was a songwriter. I said, "Well, who are you written for?" And he said, "Well, I haven't written for anybody yet, but I plan on writing for everybody."
Okay.
So I told him, "Give me a call after Christmas." He called me dead after Christmas.
Mm.
I went over to his house, and his name is Tony Haynes. You Google him, you'll see who he is. And I said, "So show me what you got." And he had 500 lyrics.
Wow.
He had two big books. And so I said, "Well, you know what? This stuff is good as Smokey Robinson stuff." So I said, "Let me call Barry Gordy." Well, his father and mother was sitting there like, are you kidding me? This guy come off the street telling. So I called Barry up and told him I told Barry again, every time I call him, he know I have something good. That's what they always say. I said, "Listen, this guy here is as good as Smokey Robinson."
Mm.
Well, that got his attention because Smokey Robinson wrote all them songs for me.
Uh-huh.
So we went up there and we didn't make a deal with Barry because Barry wanted to own all of this and that, and that that wasn't going to work because Joe had kind of told me about that, right? So we went and met this guy named Al McKay, who was one of the original people with Earth, Wind, and Fire. He introduced us to Maurice White. So
Oh.
we went to Maurice White. That's that gold record you see back there. It's
Yeah.
one of the winning gold records, right? And when I introduced him to Maurice White, we sat there for about 3 hours, and Maurice White was looking at me. He said, "Hey, brother, I think you and I might be related." I said, "Well," he said, "Where your folks from?" I told him Arkansas. He said he's from Memphis. Well, Maurice White was very, very creative, and they have a documentary out on Earth, Wind,
I
and Fire.
I just saw it. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And so I kind of later see now why he thought that way, because Maurice White stayed sheltered because he had been hurt by his mother, kind of
Left.
abandoned him, father
Mhm.
abandoned him, and stuff. But anyway, he gave Tony a break, and Tony wound up owning 23 or 29% of the song. That's that gold record.
Okay.
And his mother said, well, his father's a preacher. His mother said, well, listen, I think that he should own 100%. Well, it doesn't work like that, Miss Hanks. 20. Listen to me. If he owns 23% and his name is on the credits with Earth, Wind, and Fire, that's the barn fire.
Mm.
Because when people, everybody's singing, always looking for songs. And when they saw his name on there, everybody wanted to know who this guy was. Well, he went on and wrote a whole album for Philip Bailey, Jeffrey Osborne, Jennifer Holliday. Uh,
Wow.
he wrote songs for the Temptations, and so when you look him up, you see he's got more gold and platinum albums, and and uh, and so next thing is having somebody believe in you. So somebody believed in me. Joe believed in me.
Mm.
Barry believed in me. So I believed in him, and this guy, he's probably watching the show because I told him to watch. But he wrote more gold albums, and he still gets lots of royalty checks. How about that?
Wow. That's
From
amazing.
Yeah. So it's sort of like if you put a song with one of these people, everybody's looking for songs. Matter of fact, he wrote two of the songs for Bobby Brown's hit album too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I found him, so you kind of like Barry said, you gotta be in the right place at the right time and the right timing and all this kind of stuff, and it just kind of works for you. So
Mm.
so he's a script writer. I have to introduce you to him because he wants to do a movie, and I'm going to introduce him over there to uh, one of Steven Spielberg and those people because they're always looking for stuff. They
Yeah.
don't. They don't know. See, They're not going down to Compton or Long Beach looking for nobody.
Right.
They're just not. And so I just happened to be down there that day, and that's how it was.
Mm.
But you know. But another thing, if you want people motivation is, as I told you, I used to spend a lot of hours at the USC library. And like I tell people, I said, well, I know a lot about poor people. I grew up around poor people. I knew what they did, how they thought, how they saved their money, how they go to so I know a lot of. And then I knew a lot about middle class people. So I never knew about rich people. So I had to go read up on what rich people do, what they eat, and then the first mansion I ever went to was Barry Gordy's mansion.
Wow.
So then after that, I started to see, well, rich people think a lot different than other people. They have a different kind of motivation. So, and a lot of people don't really know how to motivate. So I want to know how everybody thinks. So I could sit down there with the brother in Compton and we can talk all kind of crazy talk, or I can go sit in Bel Air with whoever's over there. At the
Mm.
end of the day, we're just people anyway.
Yep.
You just happen to stack up more marbles than the other guy did. It's
Mm.
nothing different. But you got to act like you got some sense. So like the thing that fascinated more about Barry with me was I got on a plane and flew to Saudi Arabia. You know,
Mm.
didn't speak the language, didn't know anybody over there, and I went to make a deal. What
Wow.
kind of deal? I don't know what kind of deal. So the smartest thing I did when I got there was I hired a translator, driver, and an attorney.
Mm.
I didn't go to the U.S. Embassy. I didn't want them to even know I was in the country. Because and so I wind up getting lucky again. I met this guy named Sheikh Al Suleiman. He was the minister of finance for the king of Saudi Arabia. And,
Wow.
and I wound up doing stuff for this guy.
Mm.
So you just kind of got to like, a lot of people always say, well, my grandmother told me when uh, told me, if you're going to do something, you got to just step out on faith. I had no idea what that even meant.
Mm.
I still don't know what that even means. Shit, I just go. So I don't know. I have no idea. But when you start thinking too much about stuff, you probably won't do anything.
That's so true.
Don't
Oh
think
my
a lot.
God.
Yeah, don't think a lot about it. I mean, do you think when Michael Jordan gets ready to shoot the basketball when there's only 4 seconds left, that he's got to think about shooting it?
No.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
he just shoots it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when Joe Montana was trapped and he had to throw the ball, he had 5 seconds left, and Jerry Rice knew where he was. So if you put too much thought into stuff, then you probably won't do anything. That's the
Yeah,
best way. That's the best way. I mean, I just went and knocked on the man's door. I went and knocked on Diana Ross's door. I just went. I mean, it's
just did
so
it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that was the same way with Joe. I did the first basketball game for the Jackson Five, right? And Joe wanted his boys to stay active, so he said, "Well, Don's been wanting to do that." So Joe gave me $500. He said, "Now go down there to Don Cornelius." I went down there. Don Cornelius greeted me in there, wrote a check for 500, and we had a basketball game. The Soul Train All Stars against the Jackson Five All Stars at Cal State LA. You can look it up. You'll see that's true. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I never put together a basketball. So I think we create our own luck.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to just go for it.
Go for it.
And and
Go
and
for it.
uh, and I'm telling you, there's a big net that'll catch you every time. Just when you think you're going to fall, something catches you.
Mm.
You
That's
know,
so
and
true.
and and that's called the net of believing in yourself. That's what I think.
Mm.
I don't know. I hope I've enlightened some of your people here, and
Yeah.
and and Barry Gordy always used to say I had a lot of guts, and I excuse my expression. He said, and you had balls of steel. So, so that's what Barry always say when he sees me.
Oh, wow.
So you just gotta go for it, my dear.
Yes. One of the viewers have a question for you. They said, when are you going to write a book?
Well,
Yes.
you know what? People ask me this every day, and I met this girl uh, recently who works for MSNBC, and she said the same thing, and she said she'd write it. And I said, well, let me think about it. And she's pretty persuasive. She's a correspondent for the White House.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And so
Whew.
so I told her, said, well, we'll see. And then the lady who wrote that article on me, she wanted to do it also. And so I don't know. I have to think about it. There's a
Oh.
lot of stuff I don't wanna say. Some stuff I might incriminate some people.
Well, I will say I enjoy our conversations because you are a wealth of knowledge. You're encouraging and motivating. And y'all, he got on me. He said, "Why does your flyer have the name of where they can watch the show so small and the time so small?" So you're encouraging me to go back and get and do some things. So,
Well,
oh my
well,
God.
well, the thing is that, and listen, I came from the school of Barry Gordy, Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson. These,
Mm,
these people have tremendous imagination. Michael, I don't know, I think he might be better than all of them, you know, because he goes out and he created Thriller and all that, and
yes.
people kind of thought he was crazy. And I told Michael, stop telling everybody about what you're doing, man. Just go
Mhm.
head on and get your group of people and just do what you got to do. But and when I looked at you, I said, well, you have a small audience, but here's how you can get a big one. I mean, nobody knows where to find you, what time, and then you gotta put something out there. people like excitement, and 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 so you came out pretty excited. You got your hair done all up, looking good, look like Tina Turner or somebody, And so now you got brother all fired up over there. And so and so that's how that works. So you gotta make people happy, excited.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
my
sir.
youngest daughter kind of understands me a lot. She probably says, my daughter's a real champion. I mean, I taught her how to win and how to ignore a lot of stuff, and she's just natural champion. And she went on, and now she runs a college at a young
Oh,
age and all of that stuff.
wow.
But the thing is uh, when somebody kind of says something about you, it's because they see something good in you. If
Mm.
people stop talking about you, then you must not be doing nothing worth anything.
Oh, that's deep.
You
I
know,
love it.
yeah, that's what I think. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just kidding.
Oh, you know a lot.
No, I just know you got to go for it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Well, we definitely got to have you come back on the show, Mr. Henry. Your stories are amazing. They're inspirational. And like you said, you got to go after, you got to believe in yourself and keep pushing it. The one thing I like that Joe Jackson and you told Michael, don't tell everybody what you're doing. I love that.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
Well, because Joe's words was always somebody's gonna try to block you, and that's
Mm,
true. You know, uh,
mhm,
I think they might block you because they see something in you that they would like to do, and they don't
mm.
have the guts to go do it. And so most people, it's easy to criticize somebody. So
Yeah,
I don't criticize anybody. I just if I can help you do it, I help you do it. Uh,
absolutely.
I could take you shortcuts. I could show you how to make $1 million. Uh,
Mm.
not that difficult. But if you're not planned out right, then it ain't gonna work right.
Mm.
You
Well,
know.
speaking of which, I gotta have you come back on so you could tell everybody what this big deal is once you ink it and it's all closed up and
Oh
so
yeah.
forth.
Oh yeah. 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 It's very very substantial. So matter
Wow.
of fact, everybody will know about it too.
Woo. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And you still doing it all these years later. That's amazing.
Well, what am I gonna do? I mean, just lay down and die? I mean, listen, you don't get to live but one time, right?
That's right.
I mean, do you get twice? So I don't tell me. I don't know.
Mm-mm. You're
So you
right.
just you keep going, as doing as many times as you can,
That's it. So
and
true.
sell positivity. If you can sell that, then you'll get whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. And be
So now,
like,
how many people you got? Now you got a 500,000 people looking at you.
oh, it's
Yeah,
quite a few. It's a
that's
lot.
great. Yeah, yeah,
Tell everybody to follow me, Mr. Henry. They'll listen to you. Hit the
yeah.
follow button.
Well, all they got to do is follow you, and I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see if I can get Oprah to come on and be your guest one evening. See if we can get this done.
Oh my God.
She's really into helping uh,
Yes.
women. Her whole organization is kind of women. I don't know if people knew that or not.
Yes.
Yes, a lot of
She's
women
my
over
idol. I know everything about that woman. Oh my
there. Yeah,
God.
yeah.
She's my idol.
And if Joe was alive, he'd come on with you,
Oh,
without even thinking about it either. You know,
wow.
yeah. These people are into helping people succeed. You
Yes.
know, you know, and that's kind of how that works. So
Yes.
so I'll know if I don't know what names people come. Oprah might be watching now, but she might be under some other name. I have no idea, but I'll know. I'll find out.
Well, if she's watching, thank you, Oprah, for your love and support. You are my idol. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
She's the reason why I majored in journalism, broadcasting. So
really.
yes.
Uh, I didn't shoot. I didn't know. But what now? Where'd you go to school?
I went to Ferris State. It's a little town in Michigan called Big Rapids. At that time, they were pretty high up on the list, so to speak, of broadcasting, producing, editing, directing, journalism, all that.
Right.
So, yeah.
So So you never produced a movie or nothing yet, huh?
I've written 5 books. I've written scripts. But
Really?
I'm all in. Put me in, coach.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So the books, what you sell them out on the internet or something like that?
Uh-huh. Yes, sir. I have a website right down there, detailproduct.net. They can purchase the books. And I know how to write scripts and do all of that. So for 30 years, I was in corporate America. And then when I retired, I said, I want to go back to my first love. Uh-oh, did I lose you, Mr. Henry? Uh-oh, I hope I didn't lose him. He's still there. Maybe he'll dial back up, you guys. This is such good stuff, you guys. He is a wealth of knowledge. I see all the comments that you guys are saying here. That you guys are enjoying this interview with him. And I kind of figured you all would. So I'm going to see if he could dial back in because the signal went out. As we were talking about the different things that I can do. So yeah, somebody says put it into the atmosphere. Yes, Tanya. Yes, yes, yes. But his stories are amazing. He just stepped out on faith and he just did it, right? He just did it. Somebody else is saying, Stephen Owens. Hey, Stephen. He's talking about Wilmot with his movie. Oh, wow. How are you, sir? Let's see who else is saying some stuff here. You're saying you have to believe in yourself. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I hate that his line went out. So hopefully he'll dial back in. And somebody wanted to know, oh, they're saying that this is history. He's a true storyteller. Absolutely. I mean, just hearing the stories of, how he was coaching and he just stepped out on faith and he just went and then he met Barry Gordy and the Jacksons and so forth. So I think with anything, whether you're in a business, you have a podcast or a book or whatever it may be, you got to definitely step out on faith. I'm hoping he can dial back in, you guys, because this was good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Do you guys have any other questions for him? Put it in the comment section so that I can make sure I get it over to him. There's hearts given. I think he's trying to dial back in. Let me see if this is a good signal. He's still trying to dial back in. So yeah, we're gonna see what else people are saying. I see quite a few of you on YouTube are watching. In fact, the bulk of you. Thank you, you guys. The bulk of you are watching on YouTube. Y'all understood the assignment. Make sure you follow. Make sure you tell a friend to follow. There he is.
All right.
There you
I
are.
don't know what happened, but anyway.
It's all good. Um, what were we talking about? I was telling you about my experience. So
Oh
yeah, I
yeah.
did corporate America and then I now that I'm retired, I want to get back into my first love, which is writing, editing, producing, directing. And so my podcast, um I do my
What
podcast.
type of scripts have you written?
Well, when I was in school, we wrote several scripts. I wrote a script for a friend of mine. His name is Rockin' Richard Houston. I don't know if you saw his ad. Richard, he basically is a Motown skater. He grew up skating to Motown music, Barry Gordy and so forth in Detroit. He's from Detroit. And so he has came up with an idea of a talk show for skaters. And then he also came up with an idea of a script of his life. He wrote a book. So I've helped him with some scripts. I also helped out another
Yeah,
comedian.
well, I know, but what's the script about?
The script is about, the first one is about, skaters coming on a talk show to tell about their
Oh, I see.
adventures of skating. And then the other one is about his book. I also helped out a gentleman who's touring with Chris Tucker right now. Um, a script of a comedy show. So I wrote a script with him doing
I
that. It
see.
hasn't come out yet. So I'm getting my hands in there as much as I can and just getting rolling up my sleeves to get to it because this is my first love.
Well,
Absolutely.
you guys got a big studio down there. Tyler Perry, you do you know Tyler at all?
I don't know Tyler. I would love to meet him, but yeah,
You
he has
have
a
you,
monstrosity studio.
have you been over there?
I have. I've been over there.
Yeah,
It's huge. He bought out an old Air Force base.
yeah. No, what do you call that? Republican, not a Republican. Confederate base.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was. Yeah, it was. it was for the Confederate Army kind of people,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, yeah, and he said that the guy would did never want to sell it to a black person, and he bought it after
Yeah.
the guy died or something like that.
Awesome. I've sent him my books too. So no, I haven't been able to meet him, but hey, I am open to it. Definitely.
Has he responded to your books?
No, but I know he gets inundated with people sending him stuff all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, that would be a dream come true. It sure would.
yeah. You right down in his neighborhood.
Yes, I am. I sure am here in Atlanta.
How far away are you from him?
I'm not far at all. I'm in the suburbs and he's in the more of the inner city. So it's not far at all with good traffic, probably about 30 minutes, 40 minutes here in Atlanta. I'm always on this side of town. So yeah. Well,
Well,
Mr.
him and Oprah are real good friends over there.
Oh God, that would be huge if I could meet him and her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know how he does his business kind of things.
Okay.
I understand that he writes everything and directs everything, produces everything. He's like a hands-on kind of guy with everything. But I understand he looks at other stuff, you know.
Hmm.
So,
Well,
but
just to be a
a lot of those
production
people,
assistant would be a dream come true.
yeah, yeah. But a lot of those people, they want to be in control of everything, you know.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
but anyway, let me see what the like Tony. You get a chance, look up Tony
Okay.
because Tony's doing the same thing right now, writing scripts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you got to
Awesome.
have something that's really, really, really exciting.
Yes.
You know that will take people. You know, it's like Barry Gordy used to say: if you don't get them in the first four bars, scrap it up and start all over again.
Mm.
Because most people hear music before they even hear the story.
Yes.
Case in point, superstition. And when that song come on, it's so hard hitting that
Yes.
you don't even know what he's talking about till you go back and listen, because you spend a lot of time dancing. So if you can get your attention while you're dancing, I mean, then it makes you go back and listen. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of so I just have to see what you got, because Steven Spielberg has tremendous imagination, you know. I mean, all his movies. The movie I like out of all, I mean, I like all his movies, but I thought E.T. was the most
ET.
incredible. Yeah,
Yes.
it makes you wonder what the heck, because well, what he did is he just tapped into what people don't think about.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
like people always think there's something out of space, and he just kind of put it in writing,
Yeah. Oh
and,
my gosh.
and
And
it works
somebody gave
so.
him a chance. He was a young kid and they just gave him a chance. So
Well, he kind of did what I did. He's from Long Beach, California, and he had this idea. He used to produce movies in his neighborhood, and he used to charge for the popcorn, but he didn't charge for the movie. He's an
oh,
interesting guy, right? And
wow.
so what happened was, uh, he went up to Universal Studios and just kind of occupied a one of those buildings that nobody was in,
Mm.
and nobody didn't know that he wasn't supposed to be in there.
Wow.
And that's kind of how he got going.
Mm.
And
Mm-mm-mm.
then you know what his first movie was, don't you? Was
No.
the one with Dennis Weaver where this guy was in the car and the truck driver kept trying to run him off the road. It's called Duel.
Oh
Duel.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So after he put all that together, they gave him a shot. So it's sort of like what I did with Barry. Barry never really hired me, but I went and got Rudy. You
Okay.
see, and then when I brought Rudy, he said, "Well, hey, this guy's a lot like me. He got guts." So that's kind of what Steven Spielberg did, and so
Mm.
you got to kind of go do that. You
Yes.
just, you just. I mean, don't listen to a lot of folks now. They'll probably say, "Man, you got to be crazy."
Just
You
do it.
might, you might get arrested or something. You don't know. Nothing might not never happen.
That's so true. Well, I
But
appreciate you
anyway,
so much, Mr. Henry. You are a wealth of knowledge. I thank you so much. You got to come back on, and
all
and
right,
we definitely got to continue to talk offline.
all
Thank
right,
you
that's
so much.
fine.
You're such a blessing. You are.
And what I'll do is, when we have this deal done, I'll come back and we'll introduce it on your show.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
it's a major guy, major guy.
He gave y'all a hint earlier if y'all was listening.
Yeah, major guy.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you, Mr. Henry. You
All
truly have
right,
inspired and motivated the viewers. You are amazing. So I will definitely stay in touch with you. Please continue to send me those awesome quotes every morning. I look forward to
all
that
right,
every
yeah,
morning.
all right. Well, you guys have a good night over there.
Okay. Thank you,
All right,
sir.
all
Bye
right.
bye. Oh my gosh, that's Mr. Henry. Oh, he is amazing. My uncle and I, we talked on the phone with him for hours one day. It was just such a really good conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I did. Just talking and just hearing his story, how, he was able to, do the things that he was able to do. So we're going to definitely have him back on. And that major deal, you guys all know the name. I can't say it, but trust me, when you hear the name, you'll go, oh, so anywho, let me leave you with a positive thought inspired by Mr. Henry. Of course, I wrote this. It states, it says, there comes a moment in every person's life when they look in the mirror and forget who they really are. They see limits instead of potential flaws, instead of strength, doubts instead of destiny. But today, right now, is the moment you stop doing that, because the truth is simple. You are far more powerful than you give yourself credit for. Every challenge you survive, every setback you've pushed through, and every time you kept going when quitting would have been easier. These moments built you. They sharpen you. They prepared you for everything you're capable of becoming. Never underestimate yourself, because your resilience has already carried you through storms you thought would break you. Your potential is bigger than the fears whispering that you're not ready. Your voice matters more than the doubts trying to silence it. Your dreams are not random. They're reminders of who you're meant to be. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need validation to grow. You don't need perfection to begin. What you need is already inside of you: courage, grit, and the willingness to take one more step. So stand tall, speak boldly, move forward like someone who finally understands the truth. You are capable, you are worthy, you are powerful, and you are just getting started. The world hasn't seen your best yet, but it will. As I tell you guys each and every week, do the right thing even when no one is looking. It's called integrity. Our next show is going to be on July. I think it's going to be July 16th. Stay tuned. Check out the Facebook page to see when we're going to go live again, as well as YouTube. I thank you guys all for your love and support. And as I tell you guys all the time, do one good thing for one person each day. You can affect 365 lives. Even if it's you telling them hello, you telling them their hair is pretty, or you open the door for them, or you give someone a ride, you can affect 365 lives. If no one's told you they loved you, know that I love you. You guys stay safe out there. If you're in Atlanta, drink a lot of water. It's going to be hot this weekend. Everywhere else, stay safe out there. Keep your head on the swivel and always know that I love you. And with that, I'm out.